Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is going to be my second of three videos for today. Say hello to baby. This is my little princess. What's that? Little princess. So, as you may or may not know, I just recently posted a video where I discuss which member of Blackpink I feel had the best solo album. So, we are going to go on with this three video thing I got going on today. For our second video today, we are going to do another music video, if you want to call it that. I thought about this, actually thought about doing this just like a few days ago, actually. Um, I am going to be ranking every concert that I have been to live. I have been to, as of this past Friday, I have been to 19 concerts of different genres and different artists. Um, I was like, because this past Friday I went to go see one of my personal favorites, Demi Lovato, live in concert for the second time. And it was around this time where I thought to myself, okay, like, what exactly has been my favorite concert that I've attended? And like I said, I've done different, like I said, different genres, different artists. Some that I didn't ever plan I think I would ever see, some that I've seen multiple times, some that were better than the others, some that were like eh. So yeah. So I decided to wait until after I saw Demi for the second time this past Friday, and it was an amazing show. You'll find out where it ranks amongst the rest of my concerts that I've been to. Um, so yeah, I thought it would be a little fun, something different to do for this channel. Like I said, I plan on doing different things on here, not just wrestling, movies, music, video games, whatever I find interesting, whatever no one's asking me about. Like I said, I'm probably going to talk about it anyway because I want to. So with that being said, let's get into it and let's rank all 19 concerts that I have been to in my 38 years on this planet. So, yeah, coming in at number 19 is, I can honestly say, like I said, probably the worst concert I've been to. Now, there's a saying that people say that sometimes the best or the first or the original is the best. In my case, the best was probably the worst. The very first concert I went to is coming in at number 19, and that is the B96 2000 Summer Bash. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is that? Okay, so as you know, I live here in Chicago. One of Chicago's most popular radio channels is B96. Now I used to listen to it growing up as a child when I was younger. When I would get up for in the morning for school, get ready for school, I would always have that channel on. It's a lot different than what it is now. They actually had like a mixture of pop, hip hop, dance, different kind of different genres back in the day, back in my younger day, teen days. Nowadays, it's more like a straight hip hop station than anything. So yeah, I don't really listen to it anymore because, like I said, that type of music is really not my forte. I guess you can say I'm more of a rock guy. So yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so B96 and it would have like every year they would have a summer bash and a jingle bash. The jingle bash will usually take place in December, and the summer bash obviously in the summer. And what they would do with these is they would have like different artists who were like had big songs out at the time, and it's just like pretty much like a variety concert. Pretty much they'll have like 20 or so artists come out singing different songs. Um, I remember the main reason that I wanted to go. First of all, we got there because my they used to do a little contest on the radio where they would play a certain song, and after they played that song, if you were the 96th caller to call in, because of course B96, if you were the 96th person to call in, you would win tickets to concerts or whatever they were doing giving away at the time. So if I remember correctly, I think my mom won most of all the tickets that we used to go to this concert. We went like in a big family group thing. This is the year 2000. I was like 13 years old. So yeah, I was just excited to go to my first concert. But the main reason I wanted to go was to see wasn't even for a musical artist. It was to see Eddie and Jobo. Rest in peace to Jobo. If you don't know who that is, if you're from the Chicago area, you obviously know who Eddie and Jobo are or were. They were, I guess you can say, disc jockeys. Like I said, I used to listen to them every morning when I would get up for school. When my alarm would go off, it would be set to be 96, and I would listen to Eddie and Jobo every morning. They did the funny voices. They would do prank calls. They would talk about what was going on in the world. And I absolutely loved listening to them every single morning. And when I found out they were going to be at the Summer Bass, I was so excited to see them. Like I said, they weren't singers, nothing. They were just there like as hosts or something. So that was like the main the main reason I wanted to go for was to see Eddie and Jobo because I would only hear their voices. I never knew what they looked like, so I wanted to see who they were. I think we just made it to when we were getting to our seats. We got a little bit late, so we missed like the first few acts. We got a little bit late. By the time we got to our seats, that's when they were coming out. They were on the stage, and I was like so excited. I want to see who they were, and that was probably the highlight of my experience there. They also had Eiffel 65. If you know them, they sing that song Blue. Cisco sang the thong song. Enrique Iglesias was there. 98 Degrees, I believe. Trying to remember who else, because I think Ice Cube and Britney Spears were advertised, but they canceled. I want to say Destiny's Child might have been there. Like I said, I don't really remember too much. We missed most of the beginning. And then I think I got like sick from food poisoning or something halfway through the show because once the show was already towards the end, I was in my seat like, bruh, I wanted to go home. And I think I threw up on the way back to the party bus. I don't even think we stood for the very last act, which I believe was Cisco. So yeah, we didn't get to see the thong song. Sorry for anybody who was interested in that. So yeah, unfortunately, sadly, my very first concert experience wasn't the best. Unfortunately, like I said again, I was 13 years old. I was just happy to see two radio DJs out of all the artists that were there. So yeah, coming in at number 18 from 2005 is Ashley Simpson. Yes, I was an Ashley Simpson fan. She was one of my biggest crushes in high school. I never really was into Jessica Simpson like that, like never really. I was always more into her sister Ashley. And yes, I know she gets a lot of flack for being not so good of a singer and for the whole SNL thing, for her lip sync and all that. I know she got a lot of flack and a lot of criticism for that. I didn't care. I still liked Ashley. She was one of my favorites back then. Like I said, one of my biggest crushes when I was in high school. This was, and I want to say like in the fall of 2005 because I had already graduated high school and I went with two of my friends. It was I think at the House of Blue somewhere downtown. It wasn't like a big arena. It was like a nightclub kind of thing. Um, I didn't really get take no videos or pictures or anything because I had like my very first phone at the time, which is one of those little blue hot Nokia phones. So obviously I couldn't take anything on that. Um, yeah, I mean it wasn't bad. Like I said, it was good for what it was. I don't remember too much. I remember I was like being in the crowd, like somewhere towards the back. I don't remember who the hell her opening band was. It was some local band, I think. And I think one of the funniest things for me was after the opening act was done. I guess they had like the stage hands around there, and they were like sweeping and cleaning up. And there was just one random guy in the audience yelled like, "You guys rock!" I thought it was funny. That's just me. That's me and my sense of humor. And I promise you, I'm not easily amused. Mhm. But yeah, so yeah, it comes in at number 18. Like I said, it wasn't the bad. It's just one of those concerts that you feel like, oh shit, I was there. Like you probably forgot about it. You probably forgot you even went. So yeah, coming in at number 17 is from last year in 2025. Also, by the way, I am giving you these concerts. I am listing them off as who was the headline act, and then I'll give you who else was with them. During that ranking. So coming in next at 17 from last year 2025 was Vampires Everywhere. This is a heavy metal band. And this was mostly a concert that my girlfriend wanted to go to, so we went, of course. And I was like, hey, what the hell? Um, yeah, they also played with another group called Cult is Black and some other heavy metal bands. I had no idea who any of them were because, yeah, like I said, I'm a rock guy. I love listening to rock music. I've always been, I never really been into heavy metal, like the, stuff you can't really understand what they're saying. I've never really been into that too much, though I do love some heavy metal bands like Killswitch Engage, Slipknot, Atreyu, things of that ilk. I've always been more like hard rock, grunge, like Nirvana, Breaking Benjamin, Three Days Grace, Seether, Stain. Bands that fall into that category, I guess the dad rock category, or whatever you want to call them. I've always been more into that type of rock music as well as some oldies, from 80s and all that. I was never really into, like I said, the heavy screaming stuff. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I'd rather listen to that than today's rap or something. But yeah. But anyway, um, so yeah, I didn't really know who any of these bands were. There was one local band, and a shout out to them called Bachelor's Grove, who are actually, like I said, they're based off here in Chicago, and they are named after the actual Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. And if you don't know what that is, I promise you, Google it. If you're into paranormal stuff, you will not be disappointed. Bachelor's Grove is not only the most haunted cemetery in all of Illinois, it is also one of the most haunted cemeteries in the entire Midwest United States. I have been there 3 times. I once caught an actual photo of what they call the Donna of the Bachelor's Grove, the lady ghost that haunts there. It's somewhere hidden deep in my Facebook somewhere. I gotta find it. But yeah, I caught her on camera. But anyway, yeah. So like I said, I didn't know who any of these bands were, but I did enjoy myself. It was pretty good. Like I wasn't like in the mosh pit, but I was like nearby. My girlfriend had the time of her life because she enjoys those bands. She knew who they were. Um, um, One of my highlight memories was when I think the second band that came on, the drummer, I was like, "Hey, I know that guy. We went to the urinal together." Not like that. What I meant was we went in the bathroom at the same time. I was, he was. Never mind, forget it. But yeah, so yeah, that comes in at number 17. It wasn't a bad show. Like I said, I enjoyed myself. It just loses points because, like I said, I had no idea who any of these bands were. But the main band that she went to go see, Vampires Everywhere, they did a pretty badass cover of Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. And of course, as we know, Katy Perry is my all-time favorite artist. So that was pretty good. So I ended up downloading a few of their songs because some of them were catchy that I did enjoy. So there's that. Coming in at number 16 is from 2017 is Bruno Mars. Yes, I've seen Bruno Mars in concert. Like I said, I like Bruno Mars. I do. I like some of his songs. There's a lot of songs I like from his. My favorite song is "Locked Out of Heaven." Um, like I said, it's not. It wasn't a bad show. I think from here on up, there's really no bad shows or where I think the first one just got out. We got out of the way at the beginning. This is just like they aren't up there as like my favorites. Like I said, Bruno Mars was good. I enjoyed his music. I like some of his music. He played all the songs I wanted to hear. So like I said it was one of those concerts that it was just there. It was good. It was fine. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. On the bright side, I also got that technically means I also got to see Camila Cabello in concert because she was his opening act. I didn't really know too much about her at the time, but once I started getting to know her, she, became one of my favorites. Yes, I know some people give her a bad rap too because the way she sounds. I like Camila, and she actually sang my favorite song from hers, Never Be the Same, during this opening act, so that was good. So bonus points for that. Like I said, it wasn't a bad show. It was like I said, it was just there. It was good. I enjoyed it. Mm. Coming in at number 15 is also from 2005, and that is Slipknot. Yes. I know what you're thinking. Why the hell is a rock guy ranking Slipknot so low? Again, this is not a bad concert. It was good. I enjoyed it. This was my I could say my probably my first true concert that I went to, not including the B96 when I went to, which was the only concert I had been to up to this point. It was a good show. Like I said, I had just yes, Slipknot had been around for a few years already by this point, but this is right around the time when I started getting into them. So like I said, I was never really into heavy metal. But I started listening to Slipknot because this is when the Volume 3 album came out, and that's probably, like, I know a lot of people love Iowa, consider it their favorite. My personal favorite album of theirs is Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses. Yeah, I know it's a little bit more mainstream, but hey, that's my choice. That's my favorite. So this is pretty much the album that they were promoting at the time, and pretty much where the majority of their songs came from. Yes, they did play a lot of their older songs, like Spit It Out. I mean, Wait and Bleed, the Heretic Anthem, People Equal Shit. A lot of their old school stuff. Joey, rest in peace, one of the greatest drummers ever. His disaster piece, a drum solo, was one of the best things I've ever seen. He was like basically like strapped on his thing. His drum set went up in the air, upside down, the circles. It was freaking awesome. I went to this with my godfather, and we were like up in the balcony pretty much, and we had like a clear shot like towards the middle of the stage. You could see like directly down, and when I looked directly down, you could see the mosh pit. And god damn, that looked crazy. So I was like, I'm glad I'm not down there. But one guy up in the balcony tried to start a mosh pit up there. I'm like, because he like kind of pushed me, and I like pushed him back. I'm like, bro, I am not having no mosh pit up here with you because one thing, I'm terrified of heights. I mean, I could be high, but once I'm like super high, then I'm just like, "Ugh." And I will talk about that a little bit later in this video. But yeah, I also got to see for opening act Lamb of God and Shadows Fall. Lamb of God, I probably like maybe like one or two songs from them. Shadows Fall, I do like a few songs from them. My favorite song is What Drives the Weak, and they did play that song there. Like I said, people were moshing all over the place. Like I said, I had never really heard of any of these bands up until then. Um, from then on, like I said, I listened to more older Slipknot, and from there on, I can say they honestly become maybe in my top 10 favorite bands of all time. If not top five, definitely top 10 for sure. Because, like I said, they're freaking amazing. My favorite member of the group is Mick. Again, rest in peace to Joey. And I'm sorry, my mind just went blank. No disrespect, I forgot who else passed away. I can't remember who it was. So forgive me if I forgot. I think it was Sid, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I could be wrong. If I am, excuse me, I apologize. Yeah, but rest in peace to both. But Joey was my favorite drummer at the time, or is still. I still consider him my favorite drummer that I've ever seen. So rest in peace to one of the goats. Yeah. So also a funny thing, when me and my godfather were leaving the arena, we found it funny, random as hell. Some like really old couple. It had to have been like in their 80s or something, just chilling there on the side of the wall. I'm like, did they really come here to see Slipknot, or did they end up at the wrong concert? Either way, if they did, hey, power to you. So yeah, again, none of these, like I said, from here on, none of these are bad concerts that I went to. Just all there, and I just ranked there because, like I said, at the time, I wasn't really into Slipknot as much as I am now. If I had listened to them more before I went to this concert, and I was there as their fan from the beginning, it probably would have ranked higher. Would I go see them again? Yes, definitely. I would love to go see Slipknot again, especially with all their newer songs that they've come out that I really like. I would love to hear Snuff in live, in live concert. I would love to hear that song live. Um, yeah, I would definitely check them out again. So coming in at number 14 from 2022 is Post Malone. Yes, I saw Post Malone, which is probably the complete opposite of the music genre I listen to. This is one of the artists like I never really planned on going to see, but I ended up going with my girlfriend and her friend, my girlfriend at the time and her friend, and it wasn't bad. Like I had heard of Post Malone before, I have heard a few of his songs. Um, and I can honestly say that coming out of this concert, I became somewhat a little more of a fan. I definitely have a lot more Post Malone songs in my music library than I did when I first went to go see him in concert. Because yes, Post Malone is tied with three other artists that we'll get to as the artist I've seen the most in concert with two times. Yeah, I never expected that, but yet here we are. And I'm ranking this one a little bit lower because, like I said, I really wasn't into Post Malone at the time. Like I said, I liked maybe one or two of the songs. He's one of those artists where, like I said, I heard this song, I'm like, oh, he sings this? Like, I've always had that thing where I hear a song, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good song. I never found out who he sang it until like years later. Like, oh, that's who sings it. You know, they didn't have like Shazam and all that back then when I was growing up. Or I'll be like, oh, he sings that song, or they sing the song. I didn't know that, you know. So that's pretty much where he fell into, and when I came to see him in concert for this one time, because there was a few songs like, oh, he sings that. Oh, I've heard this song before. I just didn't know who the hell it was. So yeah, the first time seeing Post Malone comes in at number 14. Again, not a bad show. Is like I said, I wasn't into it going in, but coming out, I was like, okay, I could fuck with Post Malone. Okay, not bad. So coming in at number 13 is The Warning. The first time I saw them in concert. If you know me, you know how much I love this band. I love this band so freaking much. They are the band that I have seen the most with 3 times, and I have seen
Nerd.
the first time I saw them. This is what I'm ranking here because when I first saw them live, this is when I had just first got into them. I probably started listening to them for like maybe like a month or so before this concert. That's when there was a channel on satellite radio called Octane where they played a song that was called Choke, and I'm like, okay, this song sounds pretty good. I like this. I like this song. So I checked it out. It's okay. It's called from a band called The Warning. I've never heard of them. So then I looked them up on Instagram, and I was immediately hooked. I started listening to more of their music. I'm like, oh, okay, they had just had dropped a new album, and then I saw they were gonna be here in Chicago, like a few weeks later. So that's when I went to go see them with a couple of my friends, and like I said, it wasn't a bad concert. I love this band, but it just wasn't as exciting as the other 2 times I seen it because, like I said, I was just barely getting into this band. So they played like a lot of their older songs that I didn't really know too much about. But that obviously changed in the year since, because obviously I've seen them 3 times. So yeah. So coming in at number 12 from 2017 is seeing Katy Perry for the second time.
Ugh. I don't like Katy Perry.
I know you don't. You might want to stick around for the next one though. The next one after this. So this is the second time I had seen Katy Perry in concert. Um, at this time, this is when her new album, Witness, came out. And I'll be honest, like I said, I've always been a Katy Perry fan. She's like probably one of my number one favorite singers of all time. Um, but when Witness came out, like I don't even think I had listened to the new album yet. I want to say I got the tickets like the day of. I just found out there's gonna be there. So it comes in a little bit lower than the first time I saw her because, like I said, a couple reasons. One good thing is we were practically front row for this concert. The bad thing is it took her 2 goddamn hours to come out. Her opening act was Noah Cyrus, who is Miley Cyrus's sister. In case you don't know who that is, I never really, I didn't know either.
You're a nerd.
I know. I never been a Miley Cyrus fan, never really. And her sister was just there. But yeah, a bitch had work the next day, and I ain't gonna lie, I was dozing off while they were waiting for Katy Perry to come out. A lot of people were getting restless when the music was playing. It would lower down, they get all happy, then they start booing because she was nowhere to be seen. So it took her 2 hours to
Yeah, you
come out.
paid to see her and wait for hours.
I
You want to know how long it takes my bands to show up?
Hold on.
Not 2 freaking hours.
Okay, which is so that was that. That's the
Yeah.
which luckily you're here because coming in at number 11 from last year in 2025 was her favorite band, Black Veil Brides. So you want to
Second time I've seen them in
you want to
concert.
tell us about your experience at this concert?
Okay, so the first time I saw them, it was like 2017, and I was up right next to what is that? I was at like what's the thing called? Like
The speaker,
not the speaker, but like the thing with like the where you're close to security.
the barricade, I think.
Yeah,
That thing.
thank you. I was at the barricade when I was a teenager. But the second time I got to see him in concert, I was chair dancing and I couldn't talk because I had lost my voice.
Yes, which was a sad case because I got her tickets to see Black Veil Brides for her birthday that year, and we took a road trip to Michigan to see them. And
Mm.
sadly, she lost her voice like a week before the show, and it took quite a while to come back. And we were both worried, okay, am I gonna have my voice for the show? Are you gonna be able to sing? Lo and behold,
I couldn't, but I could chair dance.
yep. And her voice came back that day, all right.
It did. It did.
It did. So
It
yeah,
was so much fun. And you had, I want to say you didn't really know who was who.
I did it. But a funny
I
thing,
did.
what I did mention to her, what I found funny, was when the art was in the band came out. Of course, I was being nosy looking at people's phones. There was a lady in front of us,
Didn't know who
and,
they were.
and it was funny because she was legit Googling who Black Veil Brides was.
She could have turned around and asked me. I know, well, the newest new guy is the newest I forget I forgot his name.
Happens to the best
But
of us.
he's the newest new guy since Cece.
Hmm.
The only original member is the lead singer, and I still have a picture of his butt. I took it on accident. What I was okay, okay. What I was trying to do, they had all lined up perfectly on stage. So you could see Cece, you could see Jake, Jinx, all of them lined up perfectly on stage. I was trying to get a picture of all five of them lined up, and he just happened to turn around right when I was like, damn it. I still have it. I think it's hilarious. I still think it's funny.
As you do.
But they've been my favorite band since I was a little girl.
Hmm. And based off of the two countries you've been to, which one would you think was better when you first saw them or this one?
I think the second time I've seen them is better, not just because yeah, I'm older and my frontal lobe is developed, but I can actually like I'm not um I don't know, I want to say it's like more of like I'm focused on the experience and not anything
I
else.
believe she's also more musically inclined, and I do. She knows more about the
I used to write
the
music.
musical jargon more than I do. She's more musically inclined than I am.
I used to write song lyrics. I used to play guitar, piano, all of it. Used to. I don't anymore.
Maybe she said.
I haven't written a song since I was like 16, and I'm almost 27.
Mm. Another funny thing about this concert was that Black Veil Brides wasn't even the headline act. Like I said, I've been mentioning these going based off of who was the headline act. And no, Black Veil Brides was not the headline act. Instead, it was the K-pop metal band Cat's Eye. No, Baby Metal.
Baby
Excuse me,
metal.
Baby Metal.
Yeah, it was baby
And
metal.
I know who they. I've heard of them, but I had never really listened to any of their music. I heard one of their songs on a wrestling show one time, and so when we got there, of course, we were there mainly to see Black Veil Brides.
Hmm.
We arrived in Michigan the day of the concert after about a 5-6 hour drive. We went to our hotel. Luckily, the venue was just literally 10 minutes down the street from where we were at, so we didn't have too far to go, especially after a long drive. So yeah, we got to the concert and we saw the opening act was some tribal band. I forgot what they were called,
I did forget, but
but she
they,
did
they
enjoy
they
it.
were really really good. And I remember getting a video of them, and I had a video of the mosh pit, and it was like freaking perfect. That everybody was. I was like, yes, that's
But did she
awesome.
get a picture of that singer's ass?
No,
Mm.
I didn't need to.
Ah.
But I'm like, why is it so tiny? It's like non-existent. But they do have a new album coming out. It's the first one in like 5 years.
Which you did pre-order, by the way.
And I did pre-order it because I'm an adult and I deserve adulty things.
Hmm.
And vinyls are adulty things.
Because why not? So yeah, going back to this concert, like again, I said Black Veil Brides was not the headline act. So we got there, we saw the tribal band, I guess you call them, and then after that, Black Veil Brides. It didn't take too long for them to come out, which is a good thing because who likes sitting there waiting hours for an artist to come out? They came out, and the next funniest thing,
Right.
we left
Who
right.
wants to wait hours?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But the next funniest thing about this is right after Black Veil Brides performed, what did we do?
We left.
We dipped. Yeah, we.
I saw who I came to see. See ya.
Yeah, we didn't even stay to listen to Baby Metal. We just pretty much came to see Black Veil Brides. We came, we saw, we rocked, we left, and then somebody bought a poster that I thought had Black Veil Brides on it, but it didn't. It had Baby Metal. That was what you get for not staying for the show. But
Yeah.
a bitch was hungry, and we had a 6 hour
You
drive.
talk too. You didn't want to stay either. They were at their second to last song. You were looking at me like, do you want to leave?
I was hungry. It was a 6 hour drive.
I was hungry. You was sitting there with drink.
So yeah, again, it was I enjoyed myself. Like I said, I do like Black Veil Brides. I have heard a few of their songs prior to going, but I have heard
Listen to all of their songs.
you should do a ranking like I did. Rank all their songs from worst to best. I did it for the warning. Your turn.
It's the warning. Your turn.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, I've heard more songs of theirs that I never heard before, and they said they're a really good band. I recommend them. Like I said, I've heard of them from like years, couple before prior to this. Set the World on Fire. My favorite song is In the End, which I was really hoping they sing, and lo and behold, that was the very last song they performed. So I was like, okay, I got what I came for. Let's go home. So yeah, coming in at number 10 from 2023 is the second time I saw Post Malone. This was actually in North Carolina. I went to to Raleigh to meet my favorite actress, Karen Gillan, and then we decided to take a 2 hour drive to Charlotte to see Post Malone. Do you fucks with Post Malone?
No.
Okay.
Okay, the only rapper I actually listen to is NF. And sometimes Ronnie when he, drops new music.
I have heard a couple songs from NF before. Not too
He's
too
a really good rapper.
I've heard a few good songs. So the second time seeing Post Malone in concert was actually a little bit better because I had learned a little bit more of his songs. My favorite song from him is Sunflower from the Spider-Man movie. But yeah, so it was nice to have an experience to see another concert in a different state. Like I said, it was also really good. He also did a cover of an Ozzy Osbourne song. Like I said, it was actually a lot. It was really, really good. So coming in at number 9 is from 2023, Godsmack, which is where I got this shirt from. It was Godsmack, and it also featured Stain, another band that I really like. And I believe that was just them two, the only ones. You're jealous, aren't you?
You got to see Stain. Yes, I'm jealous.
I'm sure they'll come around and we can go this time. We might go see Avenged Sevenfold in July. Don't tell her.
You just told me. I've seen them before.
I'm jealous of that. So yeah. And bad enough I can't see already. I already explained to them
He
what
broke his glasses.
I explained to them what happened already, so that way no one laughs at me. But
Haha.
so yeah, I saw Stain and Godsmack live a couple years back. Stain was really good. There was a lot of songs that I didn't know, like more of their newer songs, but they did sing my favorite For You, and then they sang Outside, which I also dedicate to one of my friends who sadly passed away many years ago. Rest in peace to my guy. Um, yeah, that was our song that we always sang together. We did on the drive one time, and rest in peace to you, my brother. And then Godsmack came out. They started off with one of my favorite songs, When Legends Rise, which is a really good motivational song for me. Yes, she's mad. She's jealous because I saw him and she didn't. Can't wait to see some of the other bands that I've seen that she hasn't. So, yeah. Hey, I'm jealous because you saw Avenged Sevenfold.
When I was a teenager.
She saw Daughtry too, so I'm jealous of
Yeah,
that too.
but I was so mad at the crowd. Oh my, they were gonna play my favorite song from Daughtry, my all-time favorite song, but the crowd was dead quiet. It was me and a drunk lady. I swear he could hear us from the stage.
You would think that the point of being at a rock concert is to
Rock out.
exactly.
I
But if
love
you're gonna be there and just sit there quiet and listen to the music, put your headphones on or go take a drive or something.
it
Don't
pisses me
yeah,
off,
I mean
dude.
don't waste your time. You're gonna be
Wait,
at a rock concert, be there,
when
enjoy
I'm
it.
at a rock concert, I'm there to scream back every lyric to every song.
I mean, hey, that's what the whole point of being in there. And I ain't gonna lie, I was jamming to pretty much every Godsmack song. They sing a lot of my favorites. When they left for the encore, I was like, damn, they didn't sing my favorite song, I Stand Alone. But then they came out, did their encore, and they ended the night with I Stand Alone, which is my favorite Godsmack song. So I was happy with that. I went to my aunt who has gotten me into this rock music since I was little. She used to have me listening to Queen, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith. She had me rocking out when I was like 5, 6 years old. She will tell you she remembers me with my little devil horns at 5, 6 years old. So yeah, coming in at number 8 from 2023 is the second time I had seen The Warning. Um, this is a little bit more. As the year prior when I saw them the first time, I started listening to more of their music, and the second time I saw them, which is actually in the same place I saw them the year before, and I tried so hard to get there early because I wanted to be front row because it was just like one of those standing kind of places. Somehow I ended up in the exact same place I was at the year prior, and I won't lie, I did get a little emotional when they came out, and they sang pretty much every song I wanted to hear, and it was to me better than the first time I saw them live, but it wasn't the best. We will get to that one in a few minutes. Coming in at number 7 from 2018 is the first time I seen Demi Lovato, my favorite artist.
Ah!
Her opening act was DJ Khaled. I had a joke on my Snapchat at the time. I was like, "Who the hell is DJ Khaled?" I knew who he was, but I was just being a smartass. He was
I
pretty
don't
much
even know who that is.
he's like not really a singer. He's more like a producer, pretty much. When I was there, he was just pretty much playing like different, getting the crowd hyped up, pretty much. He's famous for his line, "Another one." That's what he's
I
famous.
have no idea
Yeah,
who that is.
but yeah, he's more of a producer than an actual artist. And at this time, like I said, funnily enough, I never used to like Demi Lovato when I was growing up. I never really liked her for whatever reason, especially when it came to Disney Channel. I always liked Selena Gomez more, Ashley Tisdale, Zendaya. I never really got into Demi Lovato like that until she got older. We're like a year apart, I think. Um, and I had heard a few of her songs coming into this concert. Leaving out of it, I became much more of a fan. And then now I can honestly say she's like my favorite artist today. Um, and yeah, I can honestly I'm a huge more Levatic now than I am when I was 7 years ago. Um, some of this again, there was a few songs like, oh, I've heard this song before. So yeah, but it was really good. It was one of my not my favorite one, but yeah, we will get to that next. Coming in at number 6 from 2010 is Nickelback. Yes, I know people talk shit about Nickelback all the time. I don't care. They are a good band. I love Nickelback. Yes, I know you're getting jealous of me again. And this, for the longest time, was my favorite concert that I had been to because every single band on this show I was a fan of. They opened up with the Sick Puppies, who are they're not a really well-known band, but they do have a few good songs. Yes, my favorite song from them is "You're Going Down." They sing the song "Odd One." They have a few. I said they're not really a mainstream band like that, which
Jealous!
each of the rest. And they were good. They opened up really good. And then I went with my friend Lewis. He was like one of my best friends. He was like my concert going buddy at the time. Um, the second band that came out was Shinedown, and at the time, Shinedown was my favorite band at that time. They sang all their songs, a lot of their hit songs, from their album that just came out, The Sound of Madness. They came out. They also did a tribute to Ronnie James Dio when they sang Simple Man. They had his picture up. They had the lighters up, and they sang Simple Man. Everyone loves their. A lot of people love their cover of Simple Man. Me personally, I prefer the original version from Leonard Skinner. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite song of all time.
At
I
least I
want
know.
that song played at my funeral when
At
I
least
when
I
I
know
die.
more chords than Twisted Sister.
Hello there. There's a cat ass in my video. Um,
You're welcome.
you see my last video. Um, Also, after that was break. Before they left, after they got off the stage, a lot of people were upset that they did not sing 45. And once they got off the stage, people thought they were gonna do encore because they were chanting 45, 45, and they didn't come back out. I was disappointed because that's one of my favorite songs
Well,
from
they have a
Shinedown.
certain allotted amount of
Yeah,
time to
yeah,
get.
and then too, they were mainly singing their newest songs from their newest album.
Hmm.
And so followed by that was Breaking Benjamin, who will go on to become my current favorite band in the world, Breaking Benjamin. This is the first time I have seen them
I've had
live,
the same favorite band since childhood. This man switches bands.
just once or twice. But
Just
yeah,
once or
I
twice.
this is when their newest album. I think it was Dear Agony had just came out. I want to say it was Dear Agony. I may be wrong. So yeah, they came out and they did a hell of a great show. Followed by them, the headline, of course, was Nickelback, who were promoting their newest album at the time, Dark Horse. And yeah, like I said, I know a lot of people talk crap and crack jokes about Nickelback, but I think they're a pretty good band. I think they're a badass band. What do you think of Nickelback?
I haven't listened to Nickelback as recently, but usually when I do, they know how to make a song,
Yes, a lot of people say, "Oh, their songs sound the same, sound the same, sound the same."
but they
But
don't
I'm pretty sure there's plenty of artists that have songs that sound similar.
sound this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if I may recommendation to you and all the viewers, their newest song, Bones to the Crow, is a real banger. It was a theme song for this year's WrestleMania. I
I want
recommend
to. I've
listening
been
to it.
wanting
That
to
was a
listen
very,
to
very
that.
good.
I just didn't know what it was called.
I love how it sounds. I love the intro. It sounds like it's a big action movie about to start, but it's a really, really good song. But yeah, for the longest time, that was my favorite favorite concert that I've been to, and but it's kind of gotten topped out. So now we round out the top five, my top five concerts that I've been to, and coming in at number five from 2019 was the second time I seen Breaking Benjamin, and that was another personal favorite. At this time, Breaking Benjamin is my favorite band. Um, Funny fun fact: I was actually supposed to see them the year prior with my aunt and my uncle, but unfortunately, I went through a very bad medical thing and I wasn't able to attend. But ironically, we saw them the next year. Believe it or not, on the exact same date that we were supposed to go see them the year before.
So
So
what only got delayed turned out to be for a reason.
pretty much, yes. And I really enjoyed the song. I really enjoyed the show. The only bad thing was the year prior they were there with Five Finger Death Punch, so I did not get to see them. But this year they were there with two other of my favorite bands, and their very first opening act was another artist who I actually enjoy. It's Diamante. I don't know if you ever heard of her. She's actually a really good band, really good artist. Her band, definitely check out her cover of Irish with Benjamin Brody from Breaking Benjamin. It's a really, really good cover. I believe you might have heard it before.
I probably did. I just
Yeah,
know
it's
didn't know who it was.
yeah, it's Diamante. She's a really good singer. Up next after them was Chevelle, which is another of my favorite groups from my high school days. Yes, I know I'm old. My favorite song is The Red. That's one of my songs that I could like listen to, like just like calms you down when you're in that really moody rage. You just want something to just a song to just like let you let out. I feel like that's
That
the
is
perfect
when you
song for
put
it.
a picture of your worst enemy up on a punching bag and you just like stab at
That works too. And then followed by them were
it.
another of my probably top five favorite bands, 3 Days Grace, who also did another amazing job. They sing my favorite song from them, Animal I Have Become. They pretty much sing all their hits. I Hate Everything About You, Just Like You, uh, Scared, Riot, of course, because they're not supposed to sing Riot. That's what they always say. That's what they say. It's their running joke, pretty much. They always come on and say, we're not supposed to sing this song because we don't want to start a riot, but we're going to sing it anyway. If you see them in concert, you'll know what their
Yeah.
running joke is. And
Every
then,
band has a running
yeah.
joke. Kind of like how I used to give people a run for their money.
Would you like to see Break 3's Racing concert one day? Or have you seen them or not? No?
I think I know I've seen Asking Alexandria. I don't think I've ever seen 3 Days Grace.
I would definitely check them out again. And then the main show was, of course, Breaking Benjamin, who by now at this point is my favorite band. They still are. They performed so many of the good songs. My favorite song, I know it's called Breath, but I call it Breathe. Say something. That's just me. They sing that song. They also did like a little melody of Mixtures of song. They did like a sample of Smells Like Teen Spirit. Another song from Metallica, one from Tool, and they even did the guitar version of the Star Wars theme, which I thought was pretty badass because yes, I'm a Star Wars fan.
Nerd.
I know.
I share a birthday with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ewan McGregor. hmm
Huh?
Pretty cool. The actor that plays
Oh,
Obi-Wan
yeah.
Kenobi is pretty cool. So that was coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 4 was from this year. The concert I just went to a couple days ago was Demi Lovato. I don't have my shirt because it's in the laundry. This the difference between this Demi concert and the one I saw prior is that I'm a bigger, much bigger fan of Demi than I was 7 years ago. So like you can tell she's not that much of a Demi fan. She don't want to
Not at all. I'm not at all a Demi fan. I'm
Hey,
more of like a Slaughter, I Such a Kill, Falling in Reverse. That's my thing.
so before we continue this, let me take a little side quest detour because she wasn't here when did I ranked at number 17. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not a bad show. It was just, there because since she's here now, when I ranked at 17 was Vampires Everywhere from last year. Like I said earlier, this was more her concert. Like I said, I had no idea who any of these
I
bands
follow
were.
them on Instagram.
So why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts on how this concert
So,
was for you, and how also the one of the band members actually I think replied to you on your story about that show.
Michael.
Yeah, I think it was about your outfit or something. But go ahead and give us your thoughts on that show.
On Instagram. I do. So, I remember whenever I was a kid, there were times where I would listen to them and I would be like, wow, I really wish they would have more stuff. But when I was growing up, I didn't know that the band was struggling in the industry. I had no idea. I was always wondering, I was like, I want to see them in concert someday. I wish they would have more music out there, kind of like how Black Veil Brides is coming up on their seventh studio album. I was always wanting more from Vampires Everywhere. I was like, they're really good. They have a really good sound. They're unique. They're different. They kind of have that that look to them, but I never got it. And then when we went to the concert last year, I was right up at the barricade.
She
And
was more in the mosh pit than I was. I was just there, just
he's like,
making
what?
sure nobody got pushed around. Me.
And I know there was a couple other bands before them. I remember one of the bands before them, I tried to say hi to the guitarist and he had no idea what I was saying. I was like, I'm trying to tell you hi. He didn't know what I was doing. And then when they got when they English when they came on, I was like, holy shit, they are right in front of me. It was so I think I had more fun than you did because I don't think you didn't
I
know
didn't know who any of these
anything.
bands were just from what she
He
was
had
telling me.
no idea. I was sitting there singing along to every freaking word.
She was legit, like right on the barricade, which was right here, and maybe like 3 feet, and then the stage. So she was like right
It
there.
was right there. And then
So
I got waved at. They like I want to say I can't remember who it was, but they like crouched down in front of me and he was like looking at me and he went, "Hi."
mm.
And I was like, "Hi."
so she gets to take pictures of a band members' butts and gets highs from all of them. I'm just there. I've got it nothing, but I mean, hey.
How many times to get a picture of his butt? He turned around. And why is it so tiny?
That I can't answer you for. But as I did tell them earlier, I did enjoy the Vampires Weekend. There was a few songs that I ended up downloading onto my music library that I enjoyed.
You just
What?
mispronounced their name.
There's vampires everywhere, right? Like
Yeah,
I
you
said.
said Vampires Weekend.
Did I?
I
I'm thinking of a completely different band. But yeah, vampires everywhere. I did download a few of their songs onto my music library. I like Immortal Love. Like I
That's
said,
one of my favorite songs by
that's,
them is the
I
one
think
with
that was
the.
my favorite song that they performed at the concert. That one.
And
Um,
another one is Bleeding Rain.
I don't know if I have that one, but I know for sure Immortal Love was my favorite one from on there, and I do have it on my work playlist, on my driving playlist. I have it like on 5 different playlists. It was a really good song. But going back to this, uh, my Demi concert this few days ago, this past Friday. Like I said, I was much more of a Demi fan than I was 7 years prior. I was so much excited to go see her live once again, and it was just such an amazing concert. I got me a new Demi shirt. Unfortunately, I broke my glasses even more. As you can see, I look like a jackass with tape on my glasses. So yeah. But other than that, it was a very exciting show. Her opening act was some. I think she was Russian. I don't know exactly who she was. Her name was Adela. I legit thought it said Adele, but it was Adela. I never heard of her. But she had a pretty good beat to her songs. But I pretty much spent that whole opening act eating a burger. Of course, I know what you're gonna say.
You're fat. You dream about food.
I did have
Wake
lunch.
up. He'll dream about food. Wake up. Be like, do you want to go eat? And then we'll eat. 2 hours later, he's like, I want food. Are you hungry? And then it's 2 hours later, he's like, I'm hungry. Are you hungry? I want food.
You had to keep a well-nourished diet.
You have a basketball.
As I was saying, so yeah, I pretty much spent the whole opening act eating a burger, because I had no idea who Adele was. Like I said, I thought it was Adele. Either way, I'm not really an Adele fan either. I probably like one or two of her songs.
I don't even know who that
She's
is.
a British singer, I think she is British. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, the Demi Soul was good. When she first came out, people were like, "What the hell?" Because I never really heard what the hell song was playing. But then they finally realized who it was. So then she came out. She sang a lot of my favorite songs. She pretty much sang a lot of her songs from her newest album that just came out. But she also sang a lot of her older songs from different her different eras. She played two of my favorites, of course, "Confident." And then in the encore, she did my other favorite song of hers, which was "Cool for the Summer." It was an amazing show. She looked good for being so much getting over all her sobriety and everything. She looks way much better. Good to her.
Yeah, because when you get sober, you start getting healthier.
hmm And there was one point when she even said during the concert, "This is my first concert that I've been married." I was probably the only guy in the audience that booed. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an amazing show, and there might be some recency bias to it, but I felt it was definitely better than the first time I saw her. So yeah. So now we enter the top three, and I have to say that these top three were definitely the hardest ones to choose from because I went back and forth because these top three shows were each freaking amazing. Um, so I finally got around to it, and number three is from last year, Blackpink. Yes, like I said, as I said in my previous video that I just did, I love Blackpink. If you want to check that video out where I gave my opinion on who had the best solo album, it'll be probably posted by the time you see this video. This was also so far the only concert that I had been to by myself, so it was a different experience, to get there because somebody didn't want to go with me. So yes, I
Well,
got there.
you do need to experience at least I think you should experience going to a concert once by
Mhm.
yourself.
And that's what this was. And it was, I will admit, it was an experience. It was different. Of course, I got lost. I almost got lost getting there because the GPS took me to a different parking spot, and it was at Soldier Field, which is our local arena where the Chicago Bears play. And I ended up going down the wrong this way. I'm like, where the hell is the arena? I look back and oh, it's over there. So I had to take a whole another 20 minutes to get there. I was rushing because I didn't know if they were gonna have an opening act. The concert started at 7. It was like quarter two. I got there. I found my seat. And if you have never been to Soldier Field, if you have, you probably know how the seating is, especially way up high where I was at. And if you are afraid of heights, which is a good thing, you probably didn't go.
I'm terrified of heights. That's why I'm so
Yes,
short.
I'm terrified of heights as well. I could do high, but then when it gets high, and if, like I said, if you've ever been to Soldier Field and you know how their seats are in the top, Lord, boy, let me tell you something. When I got up there, I was like, okay, I just kept going higher and higher and higher. And I got turned around, I'm like, ooh. And I told her as I was there, I was texting her, I'm like, I'm kind of glad you didn't go. because if my anxiety was up, I know yours would have been.
Mine would have been probably higher
Yeah, and
than anything.
it's very rare that I get anxiety like that, and that very, very rare. But up there, when I was from where I was sitting looking straight down, it legit looked like a straight shot down. And of course, that was on me also because I just bought the cheapest tickets I could think of because I just wanted to go. I wanted to be there, especially if this is going to be their last tour as a group. Because as now, they're all doing their own solo projects. So, of course, I wanted to be there to see them before they do eventually go their own separate ways. And it was absolutely amazing. Um, we got there. Like I said, they had no opening act. They were just playing their music videos on the big screen, and then but everyone was singing to the songs and everything. And then the crowd went wild because they played their newest video at the time on the big screen. And then once that song ended, that's when the concert started. And they came out. They sang my top three songs from them in that order when they first came out. So yeah, a bitch was singing. Yeah, I speak obviously English. I know a little bit of Spanish, but when I listen to Blackpink, suddenly I'm fluent in Korean somehow.
No, he's not.
At least you haven't heard me sing, but if you hear
I
me,
have,
but if
I
it's,
haven't heard you sing, but I know you're not fluent in Korean.
I am when I'm at work by myself when I got my music blasting. I'm like 100% fluent in Korean when it comes to that one, but that's only when I'm by myself. But anyway,
Yeah, and you think you sound like Chris Daughtry, but you don't.
in my head and in the shower and I'm at work by myself, I do. But hey, that's just me. Um, this was so like I said, it was so freaking amazing and everything. And there's just something about outdoor events that just hit different. And despite being way up high, I think it's probably the only downfall of it. I was able to still get able to good videos and pictures and everything. I think I used your phone because I had my crappy phone at the time, so I had to use hers. But if I had the phone I have now, it probably would have been a lot better. I think that's probably the only downfall from this concert was I was like way up in the nosebleeds. But and then when I got up to walk down, I legit was doing a penguin walk, so I don't fall down the stairs. That's how high it was. But other than that, it was such an amazing, amazing experience. And hopefully they do not disband permanently. Hopefully they go do their solo projects, come back and do another group thing. And I would definitely, definitely go see them again. If you want to go, if not, I would definitely go by myself. So coming in at number two from 2014 is the first time I saw Katy Perry in concert. This was actually like a week after my birthday, and I had like good floor seats. And it was just this was like at the height of my Katy Perry fandom because I had been a fan of hers for so long, and to finally see her in concert, this is when her third album, technically fourth if you count her self-titled debut album, which is under her real name, Kate Hudson. This is when I believe it's
That's her real name.
Yes, it is, which is why she changed it to Katy Perry, so not to be confused with the actress of the same name. And if you didn't know, she actually has her very first album is self-titled called Katie Hudson, but it's more you don't even think it was her because it's more of a Christian gospel kind of album, which is
Ew.
complete. I've never heard it, but it's like completely 180 to the Katy Perry most people know now.
The one
So
that does all those weird visuals.
yeah, her. So despite that
Mm.
one, despite if you don't count that, this is when her third album Prism came out, and she legit sang pretty much all her biggest hits. It was just so amazing to see my favorite artist live in concert for the very first time. I think one of the highlights was when they sang "Birthday." She was like on a little swing thing, and she like flew right over my head. And then I think I was most disappointed because one, she said she didn't eat gluten. She was giving out. She wasn't eating something with gluten or something, so she didn't have no Chicago pizza, which is a crime in of itself. And then when for the song "Birthday," she asked who in the crowd just had a birthday, and of course me, like me. She didn't pick me. She picked some other guy to come on the stage and be on her when she sang the song "Birthday." That was very disappointing. So yeah, but that was such another amazing concert that I went to. Yeah. She did actually come again last year, but I didn't go. Like I said, I haven't really been caught up with a lot of her newer music. I think ever since after Witness, I kind of like haven't really heard too much of her newer stuff. But yeah. But so coming in at number one, my favorite concert that I've been to, and yeah, like I said, these top three were really hard, but I finally came down to it. And number one is from last year. She came with me. It was the third time that I seen the Warning in concert. That
First
is.
time I saw them.
Now, like I said earlier, if you know me, you know how much I love this band. And third time was a charm because every time I wanted to go, I said I want to be up front. And finally, we got there. While we weren't front row, we were probably like maybe third. But we were this close to the
We ended
stage.
up getting
Yeah.
closer and closer to the
Yeah,
stage
we got
as they
close. Yeah, we pretty
progressed.
much, yeah. And I, I thought I was having a concert because I was going in. I don't know if you heard me or if you saw me, but I was legit going in hard on every single song that they sang.
Kind of like how I am when I go to a concert. That's
Hmm.
like I went to a Falling in Reverse concert, and um I was loud as hell because I knew every word to
Yeah,
every song.
which is as you should be. Which is especially when you go to a concert, if you know the songs, hey, jam the f out. That's what you're paying your money
That's
for.
what you're supposed to
Go.
do.
I mean, if
Not
someone, if,
stand there and be
yeah,
weird.
if someone's like, oh, I don't want to sing because this person looking at just okay, who cares what they say? Never gonna see these people again anyway.
And if you do, it's
Yeah,
a coincidence,
you're never
bro.
gonna see them again. You want to act like a fool, act like a fool. You want to sing your heart out. You think you sound like me. I personally think I sound like Daughtry. If I want to go
He
to a
doesn't.
concert and sing my inner Daughtry, I'm gonna do it. I don't give a shit. You want to sing whoever artist you want to sing, think you sound like, hey, go for it. You want to rock out, rock out. That's the whole point of going to a concert. You go, you enjoy, you be in that moment. You sing your favorite songs.
I'm glad they go on stage because I have too much anxiety for that shit, and I don't feel like writing music again.
Right? Maybe one day. Who knows? But yeah, I could say this was probably my favorite concert that I went to. Um, third time seeing them live. Of course, I was trying so hard to get there front because I wanted to be front in the front row. We got there. We were there in the front. They had no opening act, so they just got right into it. The newest album of Keep Me Fed just came out like about a year ago. They sing most of the songs from there. But for me, they just pretty much sang every song that I know and wanted to hear. I ain't gonna lie, I got emotional when they came out. And yeah, I was just there. I was sweaty because one, it was hot and there was like so many damn people.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
in the
hot.
middle of
And
summer.
I got freaking hungry. I was
Yeah,
getting to the point
somebody
where I was
we were.
hungry.
She was angry. I was hungry. We were there because we just like went straight there. We didn't stop to eat because I wanted to get
We
there.
should have.
Yeah, we still there was a guy outside selling pizza. We should have grabbed a slice, but I don't know if it was carrying cash only. I don't like carrying cash that much because I lose it. So yeah, but so we end up they didn't even have no peanuts in it.
We were also jamming out to them the entire way there,
Yeah, so they get the hype up. But yeah, that
which was
is
funny because we have a certain rule that if we're jamming out to a song and
dumb.
it's not over yet, we have to sit in the car till the song is done.
Yeah, that's pretty much if there's like I said, there's a good song we're both jamming to, we will sit there in the parking lot until that song is done.
No,
Especially if we're like really into jamming it, we will wait until that song finishes. So yeah,
that's a rule.
that's our rule. No matter where we go, no matter what time it is, if we're late, we're early. If we're jamming
If
out,
I'm late, whatever.
yep. If we're jamming out, that song has to end first. But yeah, this was my favorite concert I've been to, especially if they're the third time I've seen them. Will I see them for a fourth time and they come back? You bet your ass I will see them for a fourth time. So that makes them the artist I've seen the most with a total of three. At second place with twice is Demi Lovato, Post Malone, Breaking Benjamin, and Katy Perry. But like I said, it was such an awesome freaking show. I was sweating, like I said, not just because it was hot, because I was singing my ass off. And yeah, I had all kinds of pictures, videos. Unfortunately, not all of them downloaded the way I wanted them to. Yeah, we were angry afterwards, but I was in the I wanted a drumstick. Drum me a drumstick. I did not get one. And of course, after their tradition, after every concert, they take a selfie with the crowd. And
You can kind of see
yeah,
us,
it's
except I have this thing where I like to hide behind people.
yeah, could barely make us out. But or if you zoom in the photo, you can see it. Check it out on their Instagram. I think I have it on mine as well. Um, but yeah, it was then I think at the couple weeks later, I dragged her to go see the Warning concert movie at the movie theaters.
He did.
I did, and then I was jamming there like I was at the kind of like I was there live again. But yeah, I love that band so freaking much. Like to her, Black Veil Brides is her comfort band that that
I
comforts you and
mhm.
it helps you get through those hard emotional
Every time
times.
I have like an anxiety attack or I feel like I'm overwhelmed, what I did growing up, because I didn't really have anybody, I turned to music. And the literal band that I turned to was Black Veil Brides. And since I was like 11, 12 years old, every time I have like a panic attack, or you've seen how quickly I calm down. Like I'll put on my headphones, I'm like, okay, I need a minute. And it's like I don't know, I just calm down and it helps for some reason. I don't know if that's
Good.
a good thing,
That's a lot of people
but
have that too. They have like you said, music is their escape. It helps them, it helps calm their nerves. It helps them feel better. And I'm kind of saying like how you're with Black Veil Brides, I'm the same way with the morning. Like I
mhm,
can listen to their music, even their older stuff from their
I can't
debut
wait
EP,
till
which they
they're
sound nothing like how they sound now. But it's just they're amazing artists. Danny, Ali, Paul, they're amazing artists. They're badass. They're yeah.
I think it's interesting too to if you go back to a band's like first, second song that they've ever released,
Mhm.
and then you listen to something that's modern, you can really hear like the growth and
That's
the
right. Yep.
depth, and
Changing their
the more
voices
they
too.
get
Yep.
comfortable with themselves, the more it shows. And yeah, I cannot wait for their seventh album to come out
Mhm.
because I'm so excited.
There you go. So before we end this video, and I've ranked my concert videos, my concerts that I've been to, is there any other concerts that you've been to that you would like to talk about that you've been to?
Um,
Or what are your thoughts? What's the best concert you've been to or the worst one you've been to?
I want to say like I can't really say like I've been to a worst concert, but I have been to those concerts where you not just because you have to watch your surroundings because you know you're with a bunch of rockers, but like it's those where you're just like this is really weird. Can't even think of the name of the band, but I did not have a good as time as I thought I would at all. Like I wish I could remember their name. I really do. But it was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, this is weird. Like the whole day felt off even. Like this is just really weird. I'm not really having a good time. But one of the best concerts I went to, sorry Andy, one of the best concerts I went to was a Falling in Reverse concert because one of the things I love about like I know Ronnie Radke is a controversial person, very very controversial, but you can't go into a genre of music without finding him, and that's something I really like is like the creativity, the depth. The yeah, I'm controversial, but I know I'm handling business, and the way that he was when he was on stage, like he was actually performing. He wasn't like how some people are, where they just like, are you a mouse or something? Like go out and
Mhm.
like interact and stuff. It was so fun.
Okay, has there ever been a concert you gone to where you ended up discovering a new artist, like their opening band? Like for example, when I saw Slipknot, that was the
Hmm.
first time I had seen Shadows Fall. I ended up liking a few of their songs. When I saw Bruno Mars, that's when I first saw Camila Cabello. It ended up being someone I like as well. Um, has there ever been a concert you go to, you end up being introduced to a new artist that you never listened to before or never really a fan of?
I mean, I haven't really gone to a concert where I didn't know like the headliners or the other bands that were there. Like I didn't already sort of know about them, but there was one concert I went to. Um, I dragged my dad to it, and when I went, I got to experience a band that I had already. I can't think of their name. I am so sorry. Watch me walk over to you at like 2 in the morning and tell you what band it was, and you're just like,
Or as soon as this
okay,
video ends, you're gonna remember what it is.
I'm gonna remember, and you're just gonna be like, okay,
And then I'll probably figure out what the hell she's talking about.
yeah, probably. You're just gonna be like, huh? But what was I talking about?
You're tall. If there's an art
But,
opening band that you like, artists.
um, it gave me a better like in-depth of the band itself. Like I usually like whenever I'm discovering a band, I'll listen to like two or three songs to get like a feel for their vibe, you know? But when I go to a concert and it's more than those two or three songs, it's different songs that I don't know about. It gives me a better like feel for like if I'm gonna like them or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, like that tribal band that opened up for Black Veil
They were
Brides.
so cool.
They were. They will
Oh
admit
my
they were pretty
gosh, they
good.
were so cool. I wish I could remember their name.
I don't remember. Don't even ask me because I forgot who the hell they said they were. I'm pretty sure if you look up the set list or who they play with, it'll probably tell you on there. But
From
they
last
did they
year.
did do a pretty good decent job. I will admit that.
They were
It,
so
it, it was very
cool.
different too. It was like that very like tribal kind of music, but it was like tribal mix of rock a little bit. And it was actually really
It
good,
was
really
really
good.
I actually I thought they were freaking amazing, to be honest. I just cannot think of their name.
I know. I'm sure we
Ah.
will find out.
Watch me wake up at 3 a.m. and remember.
But did you say what your favorite concert was or no? What did you-
My favorite concert is
That you've
always
been to?
my favorite concert that I've been to is always a Black Veil Brides concert.
Okay, and like
Always.
you said, the one most recently was better than the first time you went there.
It was. I want to say it's mostly because not only that I'm older and my frontal cortex is developed, but like I can actually like more I can enjoy it more now
Yeah.
than I did because I want to say when I was younger, I didn't really I don't want to say like I was dumb, but your girl was dumb. I was really dumb. Okay, I was dumb. You could have hit me with a brick and I probably would have thanked you. That's how dumb I think I was. But now I can like I can enjoy it more.
Yeah, you can understand it better a lot too. Like,
Yeah, because I've had certain experiences where I'm like, okay, I kind of relate to this a little bit more. Um, but I also had a lot of fun chair dancing to them. Which I think that might sound weird to some people, but there is a video that he has of me sitting there. I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk at all. Oh, I was so pissed that I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk, but I was sitting there in a chair just like
yeah.
having the time of my life.
And
It
that's
was
that's
great.
right. That's what we came for. I took it. Say, here's your birthday present. I'm gonna take you to see your favorite band. We went. After they performed, we left. They did. But yeah, so oh, we have another guest with us.
Are you okay? Yeah, the Great Kitten Wars are still very much active.
Say hi to one of our newest family members right here. This one have a name yet or no?
No, does not have a name.
Okay, well,
This
yeah.
is Zoe's baby. Zoe just had babies.
You go. Yes, we don't have kids. We have cats, and we're fine with that because if we didn't, we wouldn't have none of these. But yeah, so there you
Oh,
go. That
baby.
was I hope that was my ranking of every country that I've been to. Thank you for being a part of this video and sharing your concert experiences. Um, yeah, so
I basically hijacked your video. I'm sorry.
that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine by me. I'm pretty sure the audience doesn't mind. I don't mind at all. Maybe they see you on here again. Hey, maybe there'll be more concerts to go to. I see, like I said, Avenged Sevenfold is coming in July, the day before my birthday, so I would definitely have to check them out. If I'm not mistaken, I think Stain might be coming again in September. I think Papa Roach is coming out here, but I will definitely be able to check those out and see where they rank among the rest of my concerts that I've been to. So
So,
yeah,
so there
I
you go,
hope
baby.
I hope you enjoyed my ranking up all the concerts I've been to. Until next time, like I said, this is my second of 3 videos that I'm posting today. So until then, any final words for?
Words.
There you go. So until then, remember, if you haven't asked me about it, chances are I'm going to talk about it anyway.